Hi, my name is Riley Allen. This is my review of Season 2, Episode 23 of Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, titled Dark Night of the Hunters. So we start off with, this professor dude investigating a temple, a dilapidated kind of temple, which is the same temple that we saw in the dream episode, last episode. He's apparently a friend of Miss Dinkley, Angie Dinkley, Velma's mom, and he gets got over the phone. So the gang decides to go to the jungle, Amazon, I think it is, Amazon, somewhere in there, to go rescue him or whatever. How did they figure out exactly where the temple was? Whatever. So, I'm glad there isn't too much, angst about, oh my god, we were fated to be friends, or we really split friends. There's, Fred and Daphne and Shaggy and Scooby were like, nah. Fred was like, kind of flirting with Daphne in his own Fred way, and Shaggy and Scooby were like, man, we're best friends, don't matter what. I kind of feel like that scene shouldn't have been just individually them. It should have been like the five of them being like, yeah, no, fuck prophecy, we're friends, don't matter. But whatever. Also love that randomly Angie Dinkley is now an important character for like a hot episode. Anyway, we get the lore drop that she and the professor were husband... No, not husband. He wishes they were summer flings. They go to wherever they are. I forgot where they are. Where they're supposed to be. Somewhere in South America. And they are all the locals are, kind of flirting with Velma. Because, she reminds her of, she's basically a young Angie. Which is like, gotta be which poor Velma, she's like, huh, but I look just like you. Confused about, people actually liking her looks. It's gotta be both. It's gotta be a confidence boost right there. Also, what the fuck did Miss Dinkley get up to when she was there for a summer that they remembered her like 20 odd years later? 20 plus. What the fuck did she do? I need a story about that shit. Whatever. So, they go to the professor's antique shop, I think, or whatever, it's his shop. And his wife is pissed. Wants him gone. We also get this person who's, kind of spying on him. Suspicious? I think so. So they end up making their way, and they find the professor's boat, and it's, covered in vines. So they realize he's got taken. So they make it to the temple, and this is where Fred shines, because he's, guiding through all these traps, eventually taking the heart of the jaguar, before eventually the priestess, whatever, the monster of the episode, fights them. They manage to trap them, same formulaic, which is, I don't need to. And they do the unmasking, and it's the professor. The only thing I didn't like about this episode is, since they were so far away from people this entire episode, they didn't really have a suspect list. Anyway, they unmask him, and his reasoning was to see if Angie still loved him. Bro, it was 20 years ago. You're married. She's married. Move on. Anyway, she was like, nah. The only person I love is Mr. Dinkley. Good for her. So then the lady that was spying on him comes out, and she says that she'll be taking the professor, while she was here with Mayor Nettles, as she's a friend from Mayor Nettles' Air Force days or whatever the hell she was in. And that Mayor Nettles had a dream a few days ago that she's going to need to help the kids smuggle a weapon over the damn border. Mayor Nettles is a bro. She has a whack-ass dream about how to help these people break a couple laws, and she just says, I bet, let me cash a favor or two. She didn't even question anything. What? And then poor Velma, she's like, you had a dream. Ah, that's it, I'm done. And she gets kind of advice from her mother like, oh, honey, you were never wrong. You were just always believe in yourself or some shit like that. Which is just like, I mean, she's she was never wrong. But the thing is, just because you're never wrong doesn't mean you're not going to be wrong. And just because it's hasn't been the supernatural doesn't mean it can't be the supernatural. You know what I mean? I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's probably just going to be some random ass dude in a mask trying to do tax evasion. But that 10th time, it's going to be a ghost who is possessing his neighbor who who died of a heart attack after his neighbor always played this loud, weird music. Or some dumb shit. I'm pretty sure that's how the ghosts from Gravity Falls died, if I remember the backstory correctly. They were listening to these teenagers listening to play their music, and they had heart attacks like dramatic fucks they are. God, they were icons in that episode. Anyway, enough about that. So that's how the episode, ends. Also, I do believe this is the last masked villain of the series, because the final 3 are just basically one overarching story to finish us off. I feel like this was one of the weaker episodes, especially so deep into the series, and so at the end. I kind of feel like it was one of the weaker ones. I'm gonna give it 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video.